Hi guys, my name is Dylan and today we are back to another walk episode and we are now in Kuchai Lama. Let's go. Kuchai Lama, right? It has always been a stereotype, a very old address, and a lot of people have a stereotype of it being very complicated, very congested. But Kuchai Lama for me, then it's very different. It's a very convenient location where it can connect you to Old Klang Road, Mid Valley, KL. You can go Max Highway, can go Cyberjaya, whatsoever. So this location for me, it's a very center location that we are located in, and let's check it out today. Okay, so before we start touring around Kuchai Lama, right, let's get our coordinates straight first. This plot of land that we are at now is actually the NSK area, which is Kuchai Business Park. Alright, so this plot of land, the main attraction will then be NSK, and of course there are some other very popular Tian over here. Alright, so another part of Kuchai Lama will be this part, right, this part. So this is where Kuchai Entrepreneur Park is, and there are a lot of eateries, and there are a lot of food, banks, logistic shops, this Mr. DIY, some fruit stalls and everything. So even there is a Pasar Malam over here. Right. So overall, this is the two main attraction of Kuchai Lama initially. And then there is a new MRT station, right? MRT2 is right here and MRT3 potentially could be here as well. So it's actually a catalyst for those who are staying around Kuchai Lama. And if we were to zoom out a little bit, right? So it's actually surrounded by a lot of highways, and this area right here, this is Kuchai. This area right here is Seri Petaling, Salak South. You have OUG around somewhere here, and you have Old Klang Road around somewhere there, right? So overall, this whole area is actually just very convenient. The NSK part of Kuchai Lama. So this NSK part of Kuchai Lama, there are a lot of shop lots here, as you can see, all surrounding here. But then the shop lots here are not as bustling as the one that we'll be checking out later, which is a lot of makan place on the other side. So I noticed that the shops around here, right, it's all mostly offices, a lot of some of the courier services, some developer stores over there, some restaurants over here. So of course this is the second row of the shops over here, right? As we can see, it's not that bustling, but of course the car parks are always full as well. And I think the main focus of this business area is NSK, which we'll be checking out later. But let's check out the frontage of this business area first. Okay, as expected, this is the frontage, the front row of the shops where it's facing this the main road of Kuchai Lama, and this is one of the condos called Riyang. As you can see, a lot of cars are just parked around here. And mainly what I noticed is the shops are mainly all offices, pejabat urusan, some bakery stores, some hotels, some restaurants over there. So I would say the main focus, like I just mentioned, it's more focusing on NSK. As you can see on this, it's NSK. So we'll check out NSK now. Let's go. Okay, so now so NSK is basically at the basement, right? As you can see, a lot of cars are here. So everyone is, despite the lack of business activity in the shops above, we are now checking NSK, which is always packed. As you can see, the cars over here. And now today it's a Wednesday afternoon, but the cars are actually quite packed here, over here. So let's check out NSK. Around NSK, I realized that NSK is actually more like a pemborong style. It's more like a supplier, but it's selling at a very cheap price. So that's why everyone is just coming over to buy groceries for their businesses, or even some fresh stocks for their businesses. So I think that NSK is not very easily found in a lot of neighborhood, because most of them are actually now, I would say, monopolized by Aeon or maybe Jaya Grocer, Village Grocer, as technically it's cleaner, it looks more presentable, but then the price will always be at a premium. But then for NSK, it's very different. It's really like a pemborong supplier style, where if you're doing business, I think you will come here very often. Or if you are cooking for a very big family, right, I think most of the time you all will come here. So now let's check out the other part of Kuchai Lama, and let's see how it goes. Let's go. So one thing about commercial shop lots, right? If you are aiming, your business is B2C businesses like doing restaurants or cafes or something, right? If the shops are facing the front road, the main road, it has more exposure and definitely rentals are higher, right? But then if you realize, right, in this NSK part of Kuchai, there are a lot of shop lots which are just at level 2, level 3. So technically, I think most of them are just like a pejabat urusan, where it's like mainly for operation purposes. So they don't really need very exposed place or very high exposure rate place. They just need a proper place where I can rent at a very cheap price, and my staff or me, myself, I can work there properly. So now we are looking at one of the condo called Kuchai East, a development. And I believe this development has been abandoned for many years, but it's almost completing. It's quite pity to see that it's almost completing, but then it's, it's not completed yet for many years. So, but the strange thing is, I'm seeing some of the workers, I'm not too sure if it can be seen through the camera. There are people working there now at the car park level or podium level. Yeah, there are definitely people working there, as you can see. So I'm not too sure if there is, any white knights taking over this development, want to complete it for the residents, or anything that I missed out. Do let me know in the comment section below. Entrepreneur Park. So, why is it called entrepreneur? Because there are a lot of businesses over here, a lot of small businesses that became popular, okay? And the one that we visited earlier is called Kuchai Business Park. So that's why there are a lot of pejabat urusan. But then for this, it's mainly a lot of eateries, a lot of food, a lot of franchise food here as well, right? So one thing I realized about, let's just talk about the pedestrian friendliness, right? Yes, there are pathways, across the shop lots over here. But then these pathways are basically just that they will lead us just around the shop lots, but it doesn't lead us to any residential areas. So this is one thing that I noticed. And looking at the car parks here, right, the overall traffic flow here is more congested, I would say, and now it's not even peak hours. It's just normal, 2-3 p.m. kind of stuff. And it's fully parked, a lot of foods here. You can just imagine, right, during weekends or during lunch or dinner hour, it'll be more packed. And I believe the condo over there is called Kuchai Central, and it's basically located right beside this entrepreneur park. So it's something that will be quite interesting, because I believe it can be linked from this condo to over this area, the bustling area. So let's maybe hope that they will be doing any more pedestrian friendly method or some greeneries, because as of now I don't see any greeneries over here. There aren't any greeneries. And this is actually the main road that enters Kuchai Entrepreneur Park. So you can see the traffic is always very jammed, and even all of these cars are actually parked not illegally. It's legal to park here, but then you can see the roads are actually just very small, because this is I would say a rather old township to begin with. So cars weren't that big those days. So further down there will be more shop lots over here. And one thing I noticed about Kuchai Lama is there are a lot of shops. But there are not a lot of residential areas over here. If there is residential, it will be more of this rumah, some of the landed properties right behind that we'll be checking out, and some of the older apartments overall. As you can see, this is the pedestrian friendliness that I mentioned. Yes, there is, pathways that allow us to walk around the shop lots, but then it's not really linking us to any of the condos because Kuchai Lama is actually surrounded by major highways, and even those internal roads are also very jammed one. There's a lot of food chains, a lot of bars, some of the China restaurants, China foods are quite popular over here. So it's actually like a food heaven for a lot of people who who don't know what to eat. You can just come to Kuchai lah. Kuchai has a lot of food for us, and now we have reached the Jalan Kuchai Lama, which I will show you. Right, this is Jalan Kuchai Lama. So if you were to come from Cheras, Corner, that area, MR2, we'll be using this road, and this connects us to Jalan Keleng Lama. Right, Old Klang Road down there. If you turn left, you go Bukit Jalil, Appuchong. If you turn right, you go Mid Valley KL City Centre. If we were to use the road opposite of us, if we go down straight, if we turn left over there, we'll be going to Taman Desa and KL City Centre using Smart Tunnel. If we go straight using this road, we'll be reaching MR2. Use the MR2 to go Ampang or Velocity area. If we go straight and turn right there, we'll be reaching Salak South and Seri Petaling, that area. So this actually is surrounded by major highways of Kuchai Lama. I think the main reason why Kuchai Lama is not very residential area, especially the new ones, is because there are not many plots of land left for us to build condos, and it's actually surrounded by a lot of major addresses. For example, you are surrounded by Cheras, Taman Desa, Salak South, Seri Petaling, Happy Garden, OUG, Old Klang Road, and whatsoever. So there are a lot of, this Kuchai Lama actually connects us to a lot of places, and it's raining now, so MRT part of Kuchai Lama. So as we all know, this Kuchai MRT station, right, is MRT 2 that links us to TRX and Bukit Bintang, if not mistaken. It's the same line as the Kepong one that I just reviewed recently, and there will be potentially, I think quite confirm, the MRT 3 station right over there. This will be the MRT 3 station that I mentioned. Alright, so as we can see, this area here, it's very pedestrian friendly. I'm not too sure what is this. I think some rest area for people to just walk or to chill or something. And it's just connected to this condo called Far East Residence. Let me zoom in a bit. And it's just connected to this condo called Far East Residence. It's just right beside. So I think judging from what our government is doing, right, the older settings of township, yes, it's very difficult for us to change the way they build the roads, the traffic system, and everything. But then for this newer, I would say newer public transport thingy, right, it's very pedestrian friendly, It's like, for MRT station, you can just walk down. There are pavements like this, you can walk over here. That links us to Residence Far East. And, there are some of the shop lots that we were at just now, just right over there, right? So one thing about this location is really well connected, as mentioned. It's just, MRT station, and this is the highway that is MR2, I think, if not mistaken. So this location is really very well connected. Like, you are connected with MRT station, just like the one in Kepong. And this will be the highway to Pudu, using MR2. And the one down there that directly connects us to, if you turn right, we'll be reaching Seri Petaling, and we can take the highway, which is the Max Highway, that links us to KLIA, Cyberjaya, and etc. So overall, right, it's really kind of convenient for us to just stay in this area. But then if you're talking about some lifestyle, you need greeneries or something, then I don't think this area is really catering for that. So I believe this area, it's mostly for rentals, or maybe for those who are planning to work in KLCC, TRX area, but they don't want to pay a bomb to rent around nearby there. You can just rent here in Kuchai, take the MRT, and you'll reach your working station as well. So as we can see over there, there are a lot of cars parking, and there is a bus there. So this bus is actually a feeder bus that connects us to certain locations that are not very MRT friendly. You can just take this bus and you'll be reaching MRT Kuchai. And the cars parked here are called park and ride. So which means that you can drive, and park over here, and you take the MRT station to your workplace. So it's actually quite convenient for us Malaysians to travel to work, right, we don't really need to drive car all the way. You can drive car halfway, then you reach an MRT station and you take MRT to your workplace. So I think these are some things that are changing the property market as well, because then more of us are actually finding MRT linked or near to MRT project location, which is convenient for us to work or even to drive halfway and to take MRT to work. You can see how well maintained this MRT station is. It's very nicely built. I think it's only for a year or so. Overall, it's very nice. It's very brightly lit as well. Not just for cars as well, we do have places to park our bicycle, as you can see. So it's rather thoughtful. Not everyone drives, not everyone take motorcycle. Some of them, they students or what, they will use bicycle to work. And this is how the MRT station is. Very brightly lit. I like it. I like it a lot. You will feel safe, when you are taking the MRT to work. Okay, now away from the bustling MRT area and the bustling Kuchai Entrepreneur Park, right? We are now in a more quieter settings where there are all landed around, as you can see. And one new condo. Okay, so what does this mean, right? It means that actually all these landed properties are here for some time, and it has been here since the starting of the township, all right, of this Kuchai Lama. So this side of Kuchai Lama, then it's a more, I would say, quieter side in a way, but it's actually just right beside the Jalan Kuchai Lama main road as well. After coming from this condo or this junction, that area, that jalan there is actually Jalan Kuchai Lama, which I mentioned. It's going to Old Klang Road or going to the MRT station over there just now. All right, so this is the condo, and this is the one that we were at just now, Kuchai Central. Right behind the Kuchai Central is Kuchai Entrepreneur Park. So this condo, Kuchai Central, will be VP'd soon, and I'm really excited to see how it goes. Because for Kuchai Lama, it has been some time since there is a new project, and if there is one here, which is right beside Kuchai Entrepreneur Park, so I'm very curious of how the rental rates will be over there, because for this particular condo, it's still quite far away. It's not really walkable to the business area over there, but for this condo particularly, it's just right in the middle of it. So I'll see how the rental is, then we will give an update later on. So as you can see on the landed settings over here, right, it's literally no pedestrian walkway, right? I'm just walking along the road, and this is some tertiary road, so the cars are not that packed now. Yeah, so overall I can feel the peacefulness of this side of Kuchai Lama. Let's explore other places. Let's go. So far we have been to Kuchai Business Park, which is the NSK area. We've been to Kuchai Entrepreneur Park, which is a lot of food area. We have been to the MRT station, and now we're at the landed area. So which area do you guys like the most? Comment in the section below and we'll discuss about it. Okay, so to sum up everything about Kuchai Lama, right, this episode, it's quite difficult to review Kuchai Lama because it's very difficult to find a car park over here because of the prosperous this Kuchai Lama commercial area is. So it is very difficult to find a car park. And second thing is the residential areas over here are very limited. It's only those older apartments, landed properties where we are at now, and some new condos which is upcoming. So let's look at the 5 points that we'll be normally reviewing first. The first point will be connectivity. Alright, so for connectivity, I think for Kuchai Lama, no doubt it's one of the best in KL because it's actually surrounded by major highways, and even those internal roads, right, it will help you to skip a lot of jam, and it brings you to maybe Old Klang Road, to Bukit Jalil, it can bring you to Max Highway, it connects you to MPE, to Smart Tunnel, to Taman Desa. So it's literally in the middle of all these major addresses and major highways, right? So connectivity wise, I think very good, right? The second thing that I kind of emphasize a lot is the pedestrian friendliness. So because Kuchai Lama is a very old address, right? Last time, most of them, even though they walk, right, but they don't really walk a lot. So the pedestrian friendliness in Kuchai Lama, it's very limited. Like for example, the park, the entrepreneur park area itself, yes, there is pavements for us to walk, but it connects us to nowhere. It's like you can just walk in the shop like that, lor. Compared to Bukit Jalil, which is right around the corner,
it's very connected, as in we can walk to certain areas, to the mall, to the park, but here no, right? Only the MRT part of here, there is pavements for us to walk from the MRT to the condos or the feeder bus or your car. So it's not very pedestrian friendly overall in Kuchai Lama. And then the third thing will be either shopping malls or commercial activities. So for shopping mall and commercial activities, I think no doubt. Shopping mall, it's you have one NSK, not really shopping mall. It's like a supplier, a grocery store, which is very cheap, very good, and it's very near Mid Valley. But commercial activity wise, right, it's really very bustling. You really cannot find any car parks. Right? If you want to come here, you better come early. So I think commercial activity is very good. So the fourth point will be office components. So office components, right, in overall in Kuchai Lama is not a lot. Even though for banks, right, we only saw a few, and most of them are actually operational offices. So which means like those second or third floor, you have some maybe some tour agency, you have some maybe some developers office, you have some insurance office or whatsoever. It's not a lot in terms of job opportunities, so this is something that is lacking, but it's very near to a lot of hotspots in terms of job opportunities. For example, it's near Bangsa South, it's near KL City Center, you can take MRT over there. It's very near to Bukit Jalil and even to Salah South. All right, so these areas are the hotspots or some of the factory areas where there are a lot of MNCs company over there as well. So we come to the last point, which is a greenery component. So we can kind of see from the video, there are not much or near to zero greenery components in this area because like I said, it's mostly commercial activities. And it's the older type of commercial activities where they just focus on frontage of the businesses, the car parks, the traffic flow, but it's not focusing on the aesthetic wise. So in terms of residential and for commercial area, they don't have much greeneries here. So I think in general, right, Kuchai Lama actually hits around 3 points out of five, for the five checklists that I look at. So which is connectivity, definitely this is like one of the selling point, and offices, yes, it's even though it's not a hotspot, but it's nearby a lot of hotspot for job location. And lastly will be the commercial activities that I mentioned. So yeah, I think overall, do I like it? I think if we are looking for a short term in terms of renting, like for 2 3 years before settling down in certain locations, I think this is one of the best place. But if you're looking for retirement then or somewhere own stay, I don't think this is the best choice. But from a property investor standpoint, then I think Kuchai Lama will be one of the higher rental yield location because the new condo supply is very limited. And secondly, there will be an MRT station. There is an MRT 2 already, and upcoming there is an MRT 3. So I think overall this location is very good. So that's all for this episode of reviewing or walking around Kuchai Lama. Okay, so that's all for this episode, right? If you do like this video, right, do like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any locations that you want me to review, want me to go and walk, or you are not familiar with, do comment in the section below and we'll discuss further, see whether I can arrange the time and everything. All right, I think that's all. My name is Dylan. Bye bye.